Soccer Bros.
Woo! Mike Bledsoe here.
13.2 in the house.
Chris Moore. We're going to be going over CrossFit Games Open 13.2.
Our professional tips.
The pro tips of the day. We're going to be going over the movements and just maybe informing you on how you might better strategize the WOD.
What is 13.2?
As you know, the WOD is 10-minute AMRAP, 5 shoulder overhead, 10 deadlifts. Is it 10 deadlifts? 15 box jumps?
Well, that'd be good information to know.
I think it's 15.
15.
Oh, you can tell we prepared for this
15,
one.
15, 15.
Is it 15? No, it's 5.
It's a number of reps. Let's just hit the form.
All right, so we're gonna hit the points. First, of course, is the push press. So, you'll want to pick up your bar, of course. You're gonna rack it on your shoulders. Your dip and drive. So, I'm just gonna go over the normal points of performance for a push press or a jerk, and that is when you dip, the best thing to do is to not pitch forward at the hips. Keep that torso straight up and down. Get it overhead, okay? What I'm gonna say is you may not wanna push press where you dip and drive and then press it the rest of the way out. You'll probably wanna dip, try to get up, and then pop underneath and use your hips a little bit to move that bar faster.
Push jerk.
You're gonna have to stand tall at the top, of course, and come back. Big mistake. Actually, unfortunately, this taught the level 1 cert is to push press with a lot of weight in the hands. They don't teach a lot of shoulder support here. But I would like to see a lot of shoulder support in this scenario.
It's going to keep the fatigue off the arms, right?
Fatigue off the shoulders and off the arms. Even if you're push pressing, even if you're not doing a jerk, this is a more optimal place to drive the bar. You can get more hip drive into the bar if you're pushing straight from your hips and your shoulders into the bar and not having to transfer energy in your arms. I see a lot of people push pressing here, no bueno.
That's Spanish for no good.
That's right. I've been learning some Spanish lately. So get the bar on your shoulders. It will be beneficial, I promise. Dip, drive, overhead. Dip, drive, overhead. All right? So that is your tip for the push press. Chris Moore is going to tell you about how to better perform the deadlift, and I will demo.
So I assume in these events, touch and go is fine, right?
Touch and go is good.
So for the deadlift, all the same rules apply. You know, the stance is probably where you're going to vertical jump from. The grip is just let your arms hang, grab it at a comfortable width.
Do we want to over-under? We want a hook grip? Or what do we want to do?
That's the thing. I think a hook grip's probably a good idea because you can relax the arms. I think the problem with these kind of events, in my view, is that anytime you're holding the bar, you can maybe get a little too uptight, you can clench a little hard, you can bend the arm, and for a couple reps, that's no real big deal. But if you're gonna do this for 10 fucking minutes, that can be really taxing. So I think letting the arms hang and relax as much as possible. So I think you can do that with a hook pretty effectively. Just a nice, relaxed, let the arms hang like long ropes, keep the fatigue off your hands.
What if
that can accumulate?
What if my thumbs aren't manly and calloused like my own, and I might have more delicate hands?
If I was doing this, what I would do, I mean, the weight is not that bad. It's what, 70 pounds or so, or 75 pounds for women, 115 for men. I think for most people that's really light. For a lot of reps, it won't be so light, of course, but I would do an alternating grip, and probably each round, maybe flip my hands around.
So I might go this round with the right hand over?
Yeah, and I might flip them just to keep a nice, try to disperse the fatigue as much as possible.
I think that's a fantastic point.
And I would grab, you know, usually when I do heavy deadlifts, I learned this tip from Donnie Thompson, who's a bad mamma jamma. He's total almost 3,000 pounds of powerlifting. And also Ricky Dale Crane, who was an old school, really, really awesome sumo deadlifter. But the thing is, you can get away in the deadlift without clenching so heavy, but just by doing a little bit of a grip with the fingertips.
Fingers, not palms.
Yeah, don't wrench around here and grab and squeeze like you're a maniac. Just get your fingertips around and just gently grasp the bar. And if you have an over-under grip, this is actually a pretty strong position. And
you'll actually shorten your range of motion.
Yeah, so look at
your benefit.
So CTP, if you zoom in on my hand, if you clench that bar, that's one length. If you loosen up a little bit, you can take maybe 3 inches off your stroke just by doing that.
Save those hips.
So grip is important. Let your arms hang relaxed. Obviously keep the back flat. I wouldn't arch like crazy. I don't think that's necessary for this amount of load, but I would not round as you would never do for any set of deadlifts. And I think the most important thing for the push press, and obviously this too, is just going to be keeping a rhythm and breathing. And then, you know, just like I used to do with my 225 rep test back in my college ball days, I think relaxing and not getting too worked up for this is going to work in your advantage. If you huff and puff and blow and stuff around, you grab that bar and you start ripping and moving it with excess force. You know, we're testing, we're not necessarily building our strength here. The more tense, the more force you use to pull that bar, the more sort of inefficient I think you're going to be. I think you pull smooth, you pull in good position, you pull relaxed arms, and you use just enough force to get the bar up and down in a smooth pace.
Yeah. One thing I want to add to this is they're looking for, one of the standards is hips must travel in front of the shoulders. So what I would hate to see is for people to reach that goal, that standard, by rounding the back, by arching the back too much, hyperextending the back. I would much rather see you reach that goal by, when you get to the top, squeezing the glutes, pushing the hips forward, instead of don't hyperextend the back, just push the glutes forward.
Glutes are butt cheeks, right?
Right, that's these massive muscles right here. Let them do the work, let them take the load. Don't hyperextend your back under load. Even though it's only 115 pounds, you can do a lot of reps. There's potential for injury there. All right?
So if I'm correct, you just said let your glutes take the load?
Let your glutes take
My
the
glutes are
load.
really taking a pounding over here.
All right, so let's move on to the box jump. Last movement. So,
How do you not blow your Achilles tendons out of your ankles?
all right. Two ways to approach this, in my opinion. One is the safe way. All right, if you want to be extremely safe, you load up, get a good counter movement, and you jump up on top of that box. Once you're on top of the box, you have to extend here at the top. What you do, if you want to stay safe, you don't want to blow your Achilles tendon out like some people did last year, you would step down. Also, there's a lot of reps here. Stepping down might also be beneficial to your performance.
Might enforce a pace, right?
Now, if you're somebody who wants to like, you know, you want to qualify for regionals as an individual, all that kind of stuff, health be damned. All right? This is probably your better route, which is to get on top of the box, do your pausing on top of the box, and do a quick rebound off the bottom. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna step back.
Oh!
I was hoping you were
Dang,
going to Achilles tendon right there.
That was rep 2.
I had some wine
Why don't you do that?
tonight.
Why don't you replay that?
I'll replay this, so come down. Not done.
That's better.
Yeah.
Not done. All right. You'll see the more advanced athletes are probably going to benefit from that. Again, I don't think that's a health be damned type of scenario, and you'll probably get more reps faster that way. And if your Achilles tendons are nice and conditioned, you'll be all right. But if you prefer to stay nice and safe, you should probably step down.
And maybe if you're stepping down, alternate, huh?
Yeah, alternate your step down. So first time left, second time right.
First time left, second time right.
Let your judge do your counting for you. Let yourself keep up with which foot you're foot.
Yeah.
Foot you're stepping down.
What kind of tempo and pace are you suggesting?
I'm thinking a 3-2-1 tempo pace.
What does that mean?
It doesn't mean
It was meaningless shit.
It's a 10-minute AMRAP. Hopefully you've done enough WODs that are 10 minutes long. The weight is relatively light. You probably don't want to pace it too slow, but only you know you. So I personally would pace this extremely slow since I'm much better at lifting heavy weights really fast, and anything over 7 minutes.
Well, again, I think the key is
this guy anything over what, 1 minute?
I'm okay with this shit.
1 minute.
I'm just fine.
Are you like a 20-minute water?
I blow my wad way too easy. But I would say that the biggest thing is whenever you're testing reps like this, I think is just relaxing and keeping a pace that allows you just to keep moving. So if you come out all fired up, you've been drinking tons of coffee, you've been listening to Slayer in your car ride over to the gym, you need to settle down a little bit and take a measured approach.
Are you suggesting we should lift some Dave Matthews possibly?
Look, hey, getting psyched up for this kind of shit is way overrated. Even for max lifts now, I never blare and get psyched up and yell and scream anymore. That's a young man's mistake.
Yeah. So I would. You should know what type of pace you should take for a 10-minute WOD, and go with that. Again, if you do this early enough in the week, I think this is one of those WODs that you can do twice. Last week, I think that might have been difficult to do. This week, I think you could do this one twice. And
test what pace will work for you and redo it if you think you went too slow or too fast. Easy.
All right, guys. See you next time.
Bam, barbellshrugged.com.
Next week.
If you like this video or any of our other videos, make sure to share it on your Facebook wall by clicking share and then the Facebook icon, and then also like it. Thanks, Shrug Thugs.